everybody. My name is Kazm, Vulfhart, aka King Kazm, whatever you want to call me, and welcome back to Pokemon Blue the Nuzlocke. I have some news. Whether or not you view it as good or bad, or good or sad or glad, or whatever you want to call it, is entirely up to you. I'll do my calls to action after I make this announcement. So, I think what's going to happen is there's only going to be 2 more Pokemon Blue Nuzlocke videos. And the reason for this is because, much to my chagrin, for the past 4 episodes of the... Oops. Clicked out of the box. For the past 4 episodes of Pokemon Blue, I have been I haven't been bombarded, but I have been hit sometimes before the video even makes it out to the public with a copyright hit. And I've talked a little bit about the other video about it on other Pokemon things, but I want to go into a little bit more detail here. And also, for reference, what I am doing is I am training my Pokemon beforehand to the best of my abilities, because we need to be able to get through the Elite Four without anybody dying. But, to put it simply, because of the fact that Nintendo, or Pokemon, or the Pokemon Company, or Game Freak, or whoever, is constantly hitting my videos with musical copyright, and it's all been Pokemon. It hasn't been any other series, which I'm grateful for, but it's all been Pokemon. I am unfortunately going to have to try and end the series as quickly as possible. Because... Oh, cool. I figured there'd be an item here. The problem is, it's not even that my videos are getting hit with a copyright, it's that they're getting hit so consistently. Because 4 technical days in a row is pretty damn consistent. And I run the risk of other possible videos possibly getting hit, because unfortunately a lot of my channel right now is Nintendo related. And unfortunately, even me saying I don't own any of the rights to Nintendo stuff doesn't cut it. Because if you don't know, Japan has different laws for brain not work good. They have different copyright laws in Japan, which is where Nintendo is stationed. And since it's technically an quote-unquote international issue, I can't do anything to stop it. To be honest. Much to my chagrin. Which sucks, because I actually have been enjoying doing the Nuzlocks, and I actually looked a little bit of this stuff up too. Part of the issue, and part of the reason why it's probably the Nuzlocke getting hit the hardest, is because Nintendo has gone on record to say, you're not supposed to play Pokemon games like this. I.e. Nuzlocks. And so we will hit you, or we will treat them as if they are ROM hacks. I don't believe that this is the case for my channel specifically, because of the fact that I'm not really that big and I'm not making money off of it. But Nintendo is very, very, very litigious. Is litigious the right word? They're very... draconic, I guess is a proper word for it. And overprotective with their IPs. And this leads to a lot of stuff getting hit. They don't like having their music on YouTube or anything like that. They don't like... having their brain fucking work. They don't like having their IPs shown on stuff. And from from my very limited understanding of how things work, I do, to an extent, see the reason behind it all. Because if the wrong person uses your IP stuff, well, and they're using it for, like, horrible reasons, like, promoting slavery or something like that, well then yeah, it makes sense. You don't want that to be associated with your stuff, so you gotta do a cease and desist. The problem is, from where I stand, I'm not doing that stuff. I'm just a random dude on the internet, making videos trying to be entertaining for people. Which is what Nintendo is trying to do as well. And what kind of gets me about Nintendo's copyright-happy nature is that they want to promote... Sorry, I'm trying to adjust myself in my seat. Trying to be more comfortable, not have my leg cramp up. But it's weird to me that like, I guess it's because it's such a big company and there's also so many people in the world doing stuff with their IP that they kind of need to automate it for the most part. But you would think that they would, like, actually actively look at individuals and be like, is this person actually using our IPs for decent reasons? Because part of what I understand about what's going on beyond the wanting to protect your IPs is that your... Give me a second, I actually need to get a thumbnail. It's so pretty. Pardon me. I needed a thumbnail and I couldn't think of how I would be getting it with this, just XP farm. But, what am I on about? They're protecting their IPs from people who want to use them for wrong reasons. Gary's mod is a good example. After about 20-ish years, they finally were able to force Gary's mod to remove the any and all Nintendo IP stuff. So no one could use it. Which sucks. And then there was a case where a guy made a ROM hack that was almost pretty much a one-for-one with Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening XD for the Game Boy Color. They made a ROM for that, with a few quality of life benefits. Just small ones, like map upgrades, more buttons for items, just simple stuff. Simple quality of life stuff. They weren't making, the person wasn't making any money for it whatsoever, and was just trying to make what is currently a near inaccessible game, no longer supported by Nintendo, that they are not making money off of, more accessible to the general public. And I'm aware of the argument, oh well, why buy their games if people won't Or why would people buy their games if they can get it for free? And that is a valid argument. I'm not gonna lie, that is a very valid argument. The issue is Nintendo is so hell-bent on preventing anybody from getting a hold of the older generation of games, which people very clearly want. Like, that's why the ROM hacks exist. People very clearly want to play the older games. But the problem is, as it stands right now, nobody is going to be willing to spend, unless they're a very avid collector, nobody's going to be willing to spend over $200 to buy a game system alone that is well over 20 years old. And then beyond that, they're not going to spend an extra $200 just to buy one game for that same system. I used the wrong one. So, this is where Nintendo is dropping the ball. They very clearly have a demographic of people who want to play the older games. And they are currently making money off of those older games that they have released on their Switch, on the Switch. Like, they complain about people using emulators and stuff like that, but then they make their own emulators. Like, that's a bit hypocritical. But we have, on the Switch, as it stands, for a certain amount of money, I believe it's like $25 or something like that, a month, you can play old system consoles as emulators on the Switch. And these emulators play older games. A good example is Pokémon Stadium from the Nintendo 64. You can play that on your Switch now. The problem is that Nintendo isn't really keeping up too much with it. I think they release like one or two games and or game series every 3 to 4 months. I think the most recent one that I remember was on the Game Boy Color, or the Game Boy emulator. They released a lot of the Mega Man games. Keep in mind, this is like the original Game Boy, the Game Boy Color, not the Game Boy Advance. Or maybe it was the Game Boy Advance one. It was one of those two, but it's not both. So I have... If I were to, say, want to play Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, although maybe that's on the emulator, I don't know, I can't remember. I would have to check. But I know one thing that isn't on the emulator. I like playing Pokemon Crystal version. That's one of my favorite that's one of my favorite games. I have it on my 3DS, and that is the only place I can play it now. If I were to follow Nintendo's rules. But I can't play it on... I can't play it on my Switch, much as I want to. Because they don't want to include the old Pokemon games onto there. They want people... And I know the reason why. It's a very obvious reason. They aren't slick about it at all. The reason I can't play them is because, well... They want people to focus on the new stuff, which costs more money. But I think what Nintendo kind of forgets is that because of the large demographic of people that really want to play the older games, if they were to release the older games for a low price, they would make more money because it would trick people into spending roughly the same amount of money as a new game for, like, maybe anywhere between 3 to 5 older games. And truth be told, some money is better than no money. And that's just a life thing, period. So Nintendo's saying, oh no, it's not worth our money, our wallet to put that into the game. Well, no, it is. Trust me, you would make money off of that. Because let's face it, I know a lot of people who would be willing to pay to play the entirety of the old Pokémon series on the Switch. And when I say old, I mean generations 1 through 3. No remakes, just the old games. I know a lot of people that would be willing to pay roughly $10 per game for that. And I know the argument of, well, why do that when you can do it on ROM hacks and stuff like that? You're right, but here's the thing. How do I want to put this? Because I don't want to be the reason that shit goes down. If the community isn't careful, because quite frankly, I do believe that we as a community of Pokemon lovers, of Nintendo video game lovers, I should say, not just Pokemon lovers. If we had decided that Nintendo needs to stop, we probably could get them to stop. Because number one, we outnumber them. We're the reason that they're getting money. We are the reason that no matter how much they claim people are abusing their stuff, we are the reason that, well, they keep running. We could probably put them in a really big bind. I'm not saying we should, I'm just saying it's a possibility and that they probably should start thinking like that. Because it's been proven by history that people will only stand so much of a person in power's BS. And another thing I actually kind of want to touch upon is, I had a thought and it left my mind again. Oh, what was it? What was it? Oh, I remember now. Okay, I'm back. I'm good. It took me a while to remember, but I'm back. So, I've talked about this before. They've gone after... Well, since I'm probably going to get copyright strike with this anyways, and I'm probably not going to get money from this video anyways, I'll just go ahead and ruin the monetization even further. Nintendo has, on multiple occasions, I will not specify specific cases, but I will just say that they have gone after pornographic tags before. It's not rocket science, it's not news to anybody. They've done that. They were doing that with the Bowsette tag, they did that with some other Nintendo IPs. They were going after this stuff, and the reason that they're going after this stuff makes sense. In a way, kind of. The reason they go after it is because they want to avoid people abusing their IPs and ruining the company's reputation. And I'll be honest, that is a fair and logical reason. Because you're a company, you're trying to promote yourself as family-friendly, all that fun stuff. You don't want people thinking that you support it. Here's the issue with that, though. You've already proven that you don't support that stuff. You said that you're a family-friendly company. Porn is not family-friendly. Right there is a separation that people make between your company and the art that they are perusing. Or making. Or any of that stuff. Right there, you are 100% free from any connection to that pornography. Because you have said you are family friendly. And individually this doesn't exactly work, but as a it does somehow work for a company. Because I don't think people fully realize this, but there's a level of subconscious acceptance and subconscious thinking going around in a person's head whenever they look at stuff that's based on like an IP. An example is fan art. Age-appropriate fan art. Let me go ahead and say that. Just to prove a point. So you have a Mario game that comes out. People love it. Everybody loves it. There's no controversy behind it. There's nothing. It's just fan favorite game. Period. End of discussion. Somebody decides to make fan art of it. And that fan art is just their copy trace of the game's opening logo scene. Or like the advertisement poster. Several things go through a person's head whenever they look at this fan art. First and foremost is, you realize this person likes Nintendo. Second thing is, this person likes Mario. Third person is, this person is not related to Nintendo. That last one is usually an assumption most people will naturally make. And the same rings true for porn. Like, I'm not over here playing my Legend of Zelda games and chilling at home on an afternoon or an evening thinking, man, those Legend of Zelda artists really like drawing porn of Zelda. Like, no, I don't think that. Nobody thinks that. Nobody thinks that the people who work at Nintendo do the inappropriate stuff. I mean, they probably do at home in private, but, you know, that's them. But, like, the stuff that's in public, that's on the internet right now, no, I don't think a single person from the companies that made it, that made the IP, have a hand in it. And that's why, like, them going after a fan tag or, like, any of the stuff that's not in line with their image is stupid. Like, for one, it's the internet. You are not stopping all of it. There is no way you're stopping all of it. You can target individual artists, but, like, you're not stopping all of them. And if you attempt to, you're just gonna make it worse for yourself. Like, eventually, you will be associated with that stuff. And that's you as a company ruining your own reputation. The best thing to do is just ignore it and let it go. That's really all you can do. You can't stop it. It's a rule of the internet for a reason. The other issue is that, well, you're punching your fans in the face. 9 times out of 10, when an artist makes a piece of art, it's because they feel some way about it. And sometimes, or I like to think it's most of the time, but I'm not an actual artist. I don't fully know. I know that a lot of artists that I know draw because they like it. They like to draw things they like. And operating under that assumption that most artists are like that, if you as a company start targeting your artists, regardless of what they draw, well, within reason, I should say within reason. If you continually hit them for it, they're not going to start liking you. I've seen so many comments about people saying, "Oh, I'm not buying from Nintendo anymore." Like, I fully justify that. Because so much has gone in to how Nintendo and stuff operates. Pardon me. I'm drinking a soda. The carbonation didn't want to go down. And don't worry, everybody. I've been drinking water too. It's been unreasonably hot lately. But actually, a better example I should use. The music for Nintendo. Nintendo is horrendously notorious for not putting their music on stuff like YouTube. So what do fans do? They make covers. They make their own versions of the music just using Nintendo IPs and stuff sometimes to try and, like, share with the world, like, this music that they like. But Nintendo refuses. Nintendo doesn't want it to happen. Because you have to buy their stuff. Like, I think that's where we, like, Nintendo... Well, no, actually, considering that in the 90s, they tried to sue stuff like Blockbuster and stuff like that. So I guess they always have been kind of like that. Because I was gonna say, like, back in the day, they weren't as greedy, but I guess I'm wrong because, well, I just watched a video of Outside Xbox. The lovely British people who do, like, here are 7 videos of characters who got their asses handed to them, or, the video I actually watched that I'm trying to talk about is the one where, I think it was like 8 times, Nintendo ruined the fun for everybody. It was quite recent. Which I find kind of scary, considering, like, I was thinking about, like, how to talk about this subject. Because I know I've talked about it a lot, and don't worry, I'm not going to be talking about it every time I play a Pokemon game. But I've talked about a lot about their copyright issues. But apparently, like, they tried to do a cease and desist of the Game Genie, which I didn't know was a thing. But then again, I wasn't too big on using cheat codes at the time when the commercials were coming out, so I probably didn't even pay attention to it. But I was also more likely, like, focused on my Game Boy, because I've focused a lot on the handhelds as a child. But, like, the logic... The thing is, I think what's wrong with Nintendo isn't exactly that they're trying to protect their IPs, it's that they're so terrified of losing money or losing out on just reputation and stuff like... I think they're just so afraid of things going wrong for them because of how big they've gotten, that they view any form of content outside of their circle to be absolute just blasphemy. Like, they are quite literally using a car bomb to kill an ant type of deal. So, I think that's part of the issue, and I think they just need to kind of back up a bit and relax. Like, I think that their fan base is just tired of it all now. Like, we've gotten to the point where, as adults, we don't want to deal with their bullshit anymore, and we just want to chill. And I know that they target children a lot, and that's fine, but, like, the children don't pay for your games, the adults do. And if an adult decides, well, no, I'm not going to support your game system anymore, the child's not getting that game. Period. I don't care what you think. The parent has more of a say in what the child gets than you do. So I think at this point you need to start thinking, well, what do my fans want? What do the adult fans that play these games want with my content? I think that's what Nintendo and a few other big name companies need to do. But I've talked on it long enough. Like I said, this will probably be the second to last episode, one way or another. Depending on how soon this video gets hit with a copyright, because I'm pretty sure it's going to happen again. I may just say next episode's done, regardless of how far I get. I will try my best to beat the Elite Four in one episode. But to be honest, I don't like the way things are going. I don't like the way things are looking, so I will do my best for you guys, but as it stands right now, I think for now I'm going to start working on shying away from a bit of Nintendo content. At least until I get... it'll start happening once my other series are done. But until then, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much. If you like this video, please leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That way you can see more content like this in the future. And if you come back on the regular, you're not subscribed, please subscribe. It's free. It helps out a ton. I'm greatly appreciative. If you would like to support me as a content creator and to help me keep this channel running as smoothly as possible, I have a Patreon and a Ko-fi, and the link's down below, and they are also linked to my YouTube channel. I also have a Discord server meant for content creators and content lovers alike, so if you would like to join that as well, that'd be greatly appreciative as well. Appreciated. I will get that right eventually. And if you could share this video with your friends, your family, your favorite group of Pokemon lovers, I'd appreciate that as well. And as always, I will see you as we continue our adventures in Pokemon Blue, the Nuzlocke. Bye-bye.